Welcome back, everybody, to the Breakthrough Moment podcast. Zac Deane here with Sandra, special guest. Thank you for jumping on, Sandra.
Hi.
Hey, super excited to interview you. I can't wait to introduce everyone to you as well. For those of you who don't know Sandra, she actually grew up with a mother who was an incredible entrepreneur. She's a serial entrepreneur, so she ran all these different businesses, and from a really young age, Sandra would be around her learning entrepreneurship. And at the age of 11, Sandra created her first super successful business, which I can't wait to hear about it. She's also now a successful entrepreneur with her cleaning business for the last 5 years. It started just before COVID, and she's currently writing 3 books. So they're on how to become a better cleaner, but also in the personal development space. And so I'm really excited to introduce you to Sandra, everybody. And for those of you who are jumping on the podcast for the first time, the Breakthrough Moment podcast is all around interviewing successful entrepreneurs, and as they share their pivotal moment that took them into the next level of success, as they share those breakthroughs, us at home can also have those breakthroughs as well. So let's jump straight into it, Sandra. Tell us, what have been some of your pivotal breakthrough moments throughout your career?
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I don't even know where to start. We spoke about it a little bit earlier. I suppose that I have a lot of different pivotal moments throughout across my whole life, which my first memories started where I was really inspired by my mom, as you spoke earlier. So that came about when my mom and my dad used to take us to all these different markets all across the country in Lithuania. And Lithuania is a very tiny country, so you can drive in the day. And I used to watch my mom in sales, so doing sales and meeting people, and everybody really loving my mom and just buying from her. So what I knew from such a young age was really good in sales. But the way she did it from her heart. And genuinely, she wanted to provide people a good product. And growing up, I was watching that. And when I was 11 years old, my mom and dad actually both left me and my brother in Lithuania and came to Australia. And my auntie used to look after my brother and I, but she never really looked after us. We sort of did whatever we wanted to do, whenever we wanted to do. And in Lithuania, we have 3 months holiday. In 3 months holiday from June to September, it's like American system. We get bored as children. So instead of doing mischief, I was like, I'm gonna be bored. I'm gonna make bracelets. I really enjoy jewelry. So my friend and I, we went out with the little money that I had, and we bought all this stuff to make jewelry. And I had money because I used to collect empty bottles and bring them to the shop and just for lollies and stuff. And it was my brother's idea actually. And both my brother and I we used to compete against each other, and we do until this day. And he used to show me who has more money and who's gonna buy more lollies. Little did he know that I'm gonna spend that money on my business, and he spent that money on lollies. So so I used those coins to go and purchase all these different beads and stuff to make jewelry and I asked my friends from school to come and join me. And night before, we made so many bracelets and so many necklaces, and we took them to the markets with one mat that we had. We put that mat in the front of the markets. For some reason, I don't know why I chose that location, but I thought this is where everybody comes in. This is in the perfect spot. And we didn't have a table because obviously we weren't really well prepared. And we put the mat down and we sold out within maybe half an hour. And I'm not sure because we were two cute young girls and no parents around. I don't know what was the reason why we sold out, but we did. So the money that we sold our jewelry from, I took that money and I said, my goodness, I haven't been here for a long time. So I used that money. I ran into the market to all the different other stalls where adults were selling jewelry. I checked the prices. I bought them. I ran back to our mats And I thought to myself, you know what, we sold so fast. I want to slow the market down. I want to slow people down on how fast they selling because I don't want to go home. I just want to stay here selling these things. I'm having fun. So I actually doubled the amount of money that the people that the adults were selling jewelry. So I actually literally, if I bought, for example, jewelry for $2, I was like, no, I'm selling it for $4. We sold out again, or we were almost about to sell out before the inspector came and told us that we need to pay for the spots, and we had to leave. And he gave us time. He said, look, I'll come back again in an hour if you haven't paid the spot. And I got a bit scared because I was only 11 years old. And being a child, I thought, oh my goodness, he's going to call police on us right now. And yeah, so that was my very first moment where I was like, yeah, business is what I want to do one day. And then, and then I came to Australia. So my mom came back to Lithuania, took my brother and I, brought us to Australia, to Sydney. And my mom used to take us to work in Australia too. She was doing cleaning. She was working for a boss at the time. And then my brother and I also couldn't speak English. So my brother and I went to a school here in Australia to learn how to speak English. And before going to school, we would go to my mom's work early in the morning because my mom couldn't really afford to pay for before and after school care, being a single mother. So I came from very humble beginnings, so to speak. And yeah, and then after school, we would go, my brother and I, and help my mom at work again with cleaning. So we used to clean common areas, offices. And I'm talking about like we used to finish 10, 11 o'clock at night and then and go again like 5 o'clock in the morning. So I'm quite used to surviving life on very little amount of sleep. And yeah, and then I started high school, and while being in high school, I actually met a really lovely Greek lady, Maria, and I couldn't speak much English, but for some reason, she invited me to come and work at a fish shop. So I went and worked at the fish shop during school holiday, and I told her I couldn't really speak English, and she said it's fine. And all the guys that worked at the fish shop, they were so amazing. They sort of took me under their wing, and they told me that it's okay if I don't speak English because they actually taught me how to read body language from people. So they said to me, for example, if people want salmon, they will point to what they want on the window. And that's how you're going to know what they want. And if you're not sure, repeat it after them. So now I know all the names of the fish. So it really helped me. They also taught me how to open up prawns really fast. And that is like the great old fun. And this was when I was only 13. And then I really enjoyed working. I really did. And I earned a bit of, pocket money, which I saved. And then I picked up another job at a kebab shop simply by just being there with my friends, and I was just offered the job again. So people just sort of come to me like, "Yeah, come work for us," and I love that. I love those opportunities when it does happen. It really is nice where I don't have to go and seek for others. It just happens. So some people might call it luck. Some people might call it the energy I bring in. I don't know whichever one it is. Whatever it is, it works. So that's all great for me. And yeah, and then during school holiday, I wanted to earn a bit more money because I wanted to start investing into property. So that's where it all really started, just like what my mom had, the property. And I used to play Monopoly as a child. That was my favorite game as well. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna buy. And and yeah, and so I asked my Mom, can I work with you on school holidays and weekends, and can you pay me money? So she did. Then I was washing her cars as well, and she gave me a bit of pocket money for that. And when I was 17 years old, one of the ladies I did work, my mom and I worked for, she had 4 children, and 2 of those children are actually twins. And she asked me, she said, Sandra, when you finish school, would you like to be employed by us? And so I agreed. I said, why not? And so I started working for her full time after school, caring for 4 children. And while I worked, I also told my mom, I finished high school. I never really liked school, to be honest. I think school really limits people. They don't really teach people what I believe they should be teaching. Um, and later on, I became a teacher myself too, to be honest. But while I was being a full-time nanny, although I love children so much, the business still didn't leave my mind. And so I came back to my mom and said, Mom, I really want to join you in your business as partners. And we can bring your business up to the stage where you don't have to work physically because, let's face it, cleaning is an extremely physical labor. It's a very hard job, especially for a woman. I'm not being sexist, but it is really hard, all the lifting and moving. So you have to have really high energy. And my mom said, no, I don't want you to. I want you to go out and get education. And so that's what I did because, what my mom says goes. And my mom is, like I said, I always looked up to my mom so much. And so that's what I did. I did a teacher's aide while working as a nanny full time. Then I did my certificate 3 diploma in early childhood. I never really wanted to go to university because a part of me never really believed that I was capable to go to university, to be honest. And then I got employed in the childcare center. So I worked in the childcare center. Then I got promoted to become a childcare center director. And then I was actually asked to go to university and get my early childhood teacher's degree, which I did. And my childcare center that I worked for paid for. And so I thought, like, you know what? This is actually good. I could probably open up a childcare center. So that was an idea that I had. And I thought to myself, if I work hard, save money, I could invest that money and buy a house. Instead of renting land, I could buy a house and I can have a childcare center from that house. And that's why I did the teacher's degree, because ECTs in Australia and Sydney, there's not many of them around because early childhood is such a poorly paid sector. And I thought, you know what, from employment perspective, this is going to be great because I could work there and I will be counted as an ECT myself. And then, and then that would help me find staffing. So I finished a 4-year degree in 2 years with high distinction and distinctions. And I was so proud of myself because I sort of proved to myself that I can do this. And it was amazing. It was such a great achievement for me, knowing that I got this and I can do this while working full time, which not many people can achieve. And so then I worked as a director, then I worked as a compliance manager. And unfortunately, I just burnt out. I put so much of me into somebody else's business. And I used to come back home, bringing that baggage from work back home, which taught me now to leave work behind the closed door. And so when I realized, that was a great realization for me, when I realized, hey, I'm working so hard, 24/7, bringing all this money in for somebody else, I could do this for myself. So then again, it came back to that idea of what is it that I'm going to do? And cleaning is something I really enjoy. I am a very high energy person. So when I do the cleaning, it sort of takes all the energy out, which is really great, and stabilizes me, I guess. And so I decided to open a cleaning business, and so I did. But I opened my cleaning business while also working for the boss. And I was extremely lucky because at that time, I was working 3 days per week, earning same amount of money as somebody that would be earning working 5 days per week. So I have all this extra time now to work on this business on the side. So financially, I was able to still self-manage quite well. and I wasn't living at home, and so it really helped me. And so when I opened the business while also working for the boss, within about a month or 2 months, I grew so fast in my business that I had to leave my full-time employment where I was working 3 days per week. And I ended up working 7 days per week, literally starting work from 6 a.m., not finishing until 11 a.m. And it's such long hours. And then we had the bushfires. So we had bushfires too when I first opened the business. And it was really hard. I have to admit it was extremely hard to work during bushfires because in Sydney we had so much smoke. People were also very scared of their houses burning down potentially. And I remember there were days where my head was spinning so much. And I was like, I can't do this by myself. I can't. So then I called up my brother. I said, brother, I need your help. And he knew how to do cleaning as well because he was working for my mom. And he actually had the cleaning business too, believe it or not. Yeah, he still does now too. We're going to go partnerships, but we didn't. That's another story for another day. And so, yeah, so he said, no, I don't want to do cleaning business anymore. I do have somebody for you who's just come and live to live with me. So here goes, like, yeah, bring him to me as soon as you can. I need somebody to help me on this job right now. So he came, he started helping me. And yeah, it was really good. Like I had to help them. He worked with me for a really long time. And then he didn't work for some other reasons. We had to go parts because he just wasn't the right fit for the business at the time in order for the business to grow furthermore. And then, so then I continued after bushfires. I had a few other people working, and it was going really well. I was really starting to enjoy the work was coming in organically. I didn't have to market. I didn't have to sell. It was just coming in, flooding in, to be honest. And it was amazing. It was so easy. All I needed then was just people to work with me. And then COVID happened. And those things can really impact your business. And I also happened to get pregnant around the same time as well. And so all these thoughts went through my mind. What am I going to do? I just had purchased my first vehicle for the business. What am I going to do now? Do I sell the vehicle? Do I close the business down? And I thought, no, I'm not going to do that because that's what people that are born to fail do. And I wasn't born to fail. So I kept the vehicle. I kept on working. I worked while pregnant. I literally had customers saying, well, I've never seen a pregnant woman come. Can I take a photo of you while doing the job? So it was really interesting. And I was extremely lucky because I had people that worked with me. So, and being pregnant, I could sort of supervise them. And I did a lot of research because, cleaning, we do use a lot of different cleaning products, which can be quite harmful. And we used, heavy lifting. So I consulted with my doctors, because I wanted to make sure that I do have a very healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby. And so I did sort of, work through those challenges as well. And it was very challenging. And then unfortunately, and then I was lucky because my mom came and helped me with my business, the running of my business as well, and helped me with when I went into labor with my daughter. And unfortunately, when I did go into labor with my daughter, as I mentioned before, there was a bit of medical negligence, which impacted me personally quite a lot, which then impacted the future and who I am now as a person. But also where I am at now, I'm also quite happy because, sorry, can you go to the bathroom, sweetheart? Use the bathroom tap. Sorry. And so yeah, so it was really, really great because I as I mentioned, I am now where I sort of always wanted to be and what I always wanted to do, like writing the book, for example. And the reason why I always wanted to write a book, but I was married before, and unfortunately there was some things that my previous, my husband didn't really want me to do. And now I can sort of do that on my own free will. And I've got amazing, great friends who support me as well. I've also got lots of friends who are running businesses as well themselves. And sometimes when you are running a business on your own, then you don't have and you're not in partnerships with another business owner, you can become quite unmotivated at times, and lose that momentum. And so it's really important to network, and it's really important to have those people who are also in businesses, um, and share ideas with them as well. And it doesn't have to be this from the same sort of line of business. They can be in a different type of business, but all businesses have a very similar formula that you could follow. And obviously, every person runs their business how they want it, to their own base, you know. So it's like you beat your own drum, I guess. And the beauty about running your own business is that you can be as busy as you want or as not busy as you want. So, and that's what I love about having my own business. And that's what also helps me with, caring of my child, because it can be really flexible for me, because I'm the one who pulls cards out, and I'm the one who makes decisions of what happens every day. Yeah.
Amazing. What a journey you've been on. Wow. Thank you for taking us on
I'm
the
still going.
yeah. Well, is there more to the story?
No, 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 like I'm still going. There's still more coming in the
Just
future
getting
for me.
started, 100%. You're just
Yeah.
warming up as an entrepreneur, just warming up.
Yes,
But no,
no, correct. That's what I meant.
I really admire, from the humble beginnings to having a mother to support you, helping you with entrepreneurship through the challenges that you've been going through, but you're still on the other side, kicking
Yeah.
goals, writing books, having a family. Like it's really great to see. So congratulations and all
Yeah.
that.
Thank
I'd
you.
love to know, like, what would be some advice you would give other entrepreneurs? Maybe some women out there who may be single moms, or
Mhm.
they've got a business where they're kind of juggling all the hats. Do you have any
Yeah.
advice for other women entrepreneurs out there who might be in similar shoes to what you were?
Yeah. The advice that I would give people is that you have to have confidence. But when I'm talking about confidence and really strong self-esteem, a lot of people can become quite egoistic and have a really high ego. I think it's really important to not have such a high ego, because, and I think COVID has really taught that to a lot of businesses, where people were riding this, power trip wave and thinking, nothing can touch them. When you have a business and anything in life, there's so many different things that can happen, and you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared to adapt. You have to be prepared to, like now, I think especially for the future, the way the future is going, and what's happening in Russia and Israel and Trump winning the election, there could be another war. We don't know. And we have to be very well prepared. If that happens, what are we going to do? How are we going to survive? And this is also goes for investors too, because a lot of people have all these beautiful homes and houses. There could be any day a plane flies over your house, a little bomb drops. You got to be really, really be prepared. Do your research. Be open to different opinions, different options, different opportunities as well, and just go for it. I do read quite a lot of books, but what's the point of spending all this time reading all these books when I could be putting that into action? So I think it's really important to just not read and read and read and talk, but actually take action and do it. And another thing, and even for myself, I need to give this advice to myself too. The use of internet and the phone, it's very easy, to do scrolling all day long. And I've done that, just to take things, things off my mind. I think it's really important for people not to be so sucked into media and so engaged into Facebook and scrolling and watching all these And look, it's great to watch YouTube videos and stuff. Obviously, we're here today. But what you watch, what you read, what you listen to, and what you hear is so important because all of that shapes you who you are as a person.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, social media is a tool.
Yeah,
Most of the time, it's a distracting tool, but we can
yeah,
use it to grow our minds and
yeah,
our businesses if we use it correctly. So,
yeah,
what I would really like to know is, you've
yeah.
been through an incredible journey as an entrepreneur. If you could go back in time and change one thing that would have helped you throughout your entrepreneurial journey, what would that
Mm.
one thing have been?
Okay. I think that would have definitely be not to compromise so much with my ex-husbands. That would have been that. I did a lot of compromising, which I didn't want, but obviously I wanted the marriage to work, so I compromised here and compromised there, which impacted me in the long term. So I think once you know deep down in your core what you really want and what you really need, don't listen to the to other people so much. It's great to listen to people, but if you strongly believe in something, stick with it.
That's so important. Yeah, the people closest to us, whether it's family or close friends or an intimate partnership,
Yeah,
can have a massive impact on our own
yeah,
mindset and momentum
yeah,
and action every day, right? So that's huge. That's huge.
yeah,
So you mentioned that you're a really big book reader. You love reading.
yeah.
Do you have any recommendations on some books that have been a breakthrough for you?
Yes, absolutely. I've actually got a few books, and I put them into categories. So I have gotten these two books. So someone has to be the most expensive. Personally, I haven't started reading this book. I think it's the name of it. Because it's not always being about most expensive. It's also being the best. The way economy is these days, I want to help people to get a good product, a good service at a very reasonable price. Now, I'm not saying let's work for free, but I do want to help people, and I think that's my humble beginnings in me. Like I mentioned before, I grew up not having much, and my mom having to work so hard, and I want to help people because there are so many people out there that want a certain service or want a certain product but can't actually financially afford it. So yeah, I am going to read that book. And I think that's going to be a great book, but I'm just waiting. I'm not ready for that book yet. And then I also bought this book, Sell Like Crazy. I like this book as well because I'm not really much into sales, I suppose, but I think this is a great book and it really has helped me as well. So I read that book at the beginning of my business. I only read like half of it and then I stopped. I couldn't be bothered anymore, to be honest. Um, Lost my interest, I guess. But then a book that really, really has changed me, and I read that book very recently, was Key Persons of Influence. And this book just fell in my mailbox. I don't know who sent it to me. I don't know why they sent it to me. But there was a little note saying, "You are awesome." And I was like, who on earth is this? So it was actually great. And I took this book when I went overseas recently. And I read this book, I swear, within probably 2 or 3 days. And I made little notes, and it's like a little exercise book. And I can't recommend this book any higher. Like, this is one of the best books I've ever read in my life. It really, really is. And I'm holding on to this book. I normally do share my books with my friends. Never letting this book go. Also, this book is quite a new book, The Diary of a CEO. And this is a really great book because it also talks a lot about personal stuff. And you can tell this is my university days. I've learned to do little tricks, things that I like and I want to go back. I actually make little notes for myself and I go back. Um, to reread that again. And now I've also started reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, of course. And the reason why we started reading this, and it's actually a really great book. I didn't think it was that great. I thought it was just a big hype for nothing, but it's not. The reason why I started reading this book because I do have a 4-year-old child, and I want to be able to teach my daughter about, money and economy and what tax is and what superannuation is. So she's able to do that. These are the things that schools don't teach us. And so we as parents are here to teach our children that. And which also brings me then to Money for Beginners, which I bought for my daughter. And believe it or not, I'm learning so much from this book myself. And my daughter and I read this book every night, and she loves it. She's got her little wallet now where she gets her little money when she comes to quote jobs with me. Sometimes my clients actually pay my daughter. And then she has her own money, and we go to cafes, and my daughter, buys baby chino for herself. And it's a great way to teach her about the value of money. I don't just give her money. She earns her own money in her own little different ways. And then I also bought this book, Barefoot Kids, for my daughter, which I haven't started reading because I do believe this is more for older children. So I'm waiting for another year or two before I start. And this is a great book because this book is about young children, and I'm talking about children like who are 8 years old, who opened up their own businesses and are so successful. And it's so amazing because I think it's just a great reminder that leaders and great leaders and managers and entrepreneurs are not something that they are not made. Sometimes they're actually born with those skills. It's integrated within them. And that's why you have children as young as 14 opening their own businesses. And it's so very interesting for me, and obviously I'm not going to push my daughter to open her business, but she can do whatever she wants to do in life. But I will be there as a mother to support her. And the last 2 books that I've purchased, but I haven't started reading them yet, and I'm really looking forward to read them, because I think that's what's going to help me in the future with AI coming in. It's 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. And this book is great. It actually talks about how can we protect ourselves from nuclear war or ecological catastrophe. And what do we do about the epidemic of fake news or the threat of terrorism? And this book is also about how should we prepare our children for the future. And I think this book is an extremely interesting book. It's a very thought-provoking type of book. I haven't read it, like I said, so I can't summarize it right now. But I'm really looking forward to find the time to read it. And the last book is Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. And this book is actually a really thick book, which is why I've been putting off reading it. I don't like thick books. Same as this one, which is why I haven't read this book yet. And this book is about fire gives us power. That's what it says on the back. And farming made us hungry for more. Money gave us purpose, and science made us deadly. So I think this book is going to be extremely interesting, especially what happened with COVID. And, obviously different people have different thoughts about COVID and why it happened. And, it's which I'm not going to go into it, but I think this book is going to be a really interesting book as well.
Wow, that was the best book presentation I've seen ever on this
Oh,
podcast.
really? I actually got one more, but then this was like, it's actually a boring book. So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna show you guys this book. It's too boring for my crazy little mind.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah.
That's so good, so good. Yeah, I definitely recommend some of those books as well. Rich Dad Poor Dad, I read when I was 17.
Which one did you read?
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh, you have read that. It's great, yeah?
Yeah. And then Think and Grow Rich. Read those really, really early on in my kind of journey. And As a Man Thinketh is a really good one as well. It's a little bit still about
Okay.
mindset and as
Yeah.
we think and feel, we become. So it's a really powerful, small book.
That's actually interesting because I got a friend here of mine, and we discuss about these things quite a lot. It's about, the thinking and feeling. And we actually discussed today we might do a little podcast of our own sometime soon. Um, but more about personal life and what we've been going through personally. So
For
maybe
sure,
we'll
like
watch this space.
watch this space, hashtag. No,
Yeah,
100%. You speak so
yeah.
well and like just all the stories and everything so authentic. So I was going to say that after the interview, but I'll say it now. I think
Okay.
everyone should definitely, yeah, should definitely start a podcast for sure. Um,
Thank you.
so, so before we get into the last question, I've got a question before the last question. So the question is,
Absolutely. Just ask as many as you need. The girls are playing here, so ask as much as you want.
all right, awesome, thanks. So what would be the main message you would like people to really pick up from what you're putting down, so to speak? What's the main message you want to portray today?
I think, and I've spoken a lot throughout this podcast and this interview, and I did a lot of referencing back to my mom. Be a fighter. Don't ever let that fire in your spirit be put out by the people that say no to you or by the people that try to bring you down. People will always try to bring you down no matter what. And, there are going to be people who like you and there are going to be people who don't like you. And that's fine. That's their opinions of you and leave that with them. Just know who you are as a person. I've done a lot of self-growth myself, and I've done enough self-growth to understand I know who I am, I know what I want, and but I'm also very much open about different people's opinions of me, and I like to always continue to work on myself. And I think the message I'm trying to send out to be able to be open and take responsibility and take accountability for your actions and try to always be the best person that you could possibly be. And if people say, well, you haven't done this and you haven't done that, don't always say, no, I haven't done that. Don't argue back. Just listen to what they have to say, because people are not going to waste their own time to try and, cause an accident, an argument for no reason. I think it's really important to be open to different opinions and it's very important to continue to grow as a person. And, the growth never stops. And that's the beauty about living and being alive. Yeah.
So good, Sandra. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I agree. So how can people get in touch with you? And who
Mhm.
are the types of customers that you work with the most?
Yeah, absolutely. So, at our company, and my business is called Entrepreneurial Experts. I don't have a website because I never really had to have a website. I focus on my business via referrals only. And so at our company, what we do is we improve and we maintain homes by preparing them for the next occupants, ensuring a hygienic and clean environments. So that's what's important to me. And we achieve this through various meticulous cleaning processes. We proudly serve high-end clients and the wider community, reflecting our commitment to inclusivity. And we do understand that time is money and it's irreplaceable. And our services are designed to help people to save both. And like myself, my time is very important to me. You can't bring the time back. And I have a lot of clients, when they move out of their homes, and when you're moving, it's so busy that they're packing and getting ready, and it's extremely stressful. And all I try to do is just take that stress away from people and have their properties cleaned and ready for the next occupants. And so you can contact me via my mobile number 0405 937 574, or you can send me an email to info@entrepreneurexperts.com.au. and I'm quite responsive. My response time is really fast. That's something that I'm really very focused on because, like I said, time is money.
Definitely, guys. Everyone at home who needs their home cleaned for the next residents or next participants, for them to get in touch with Sandra. Her email and phone number I'll put around the video here, around the podcast. So get in touch if you're in Sydney. You will not regret it. You'll absolutely love her service. So last question, Sandra. Last question is, what is the challenge you'd like to suggest or motivate everyone to go out to do today? Like, what's the challenge for this week or this month or this year for everyone listening?
You're gonna laugh. Declutter your homes and have a clean home. The reason why, because I find I can't focus if my home is cluttered and it needs cleaning. I need to declutter. Busy home, busy mind. So once your home is clean and decluttered, trust me, the focus you're gonna have, you can focus, you can get stuff done. So go out there and declutter, start cleaning. And if you can't clean, get me in. I help.
Oh, that's the best. That is the best. That's golden.
I
That's
write that
golden.
down.
That on your business card or your new website or t-shirt. Oh, this has been
Hey,
a lot.
look at this logo. Actually, I should write that down.
Oh, the power. That was a breakthrough moment right there. Boom.
Really?
So
Okay, fine. Thanks, my friend. She's same as me. She's always like decluttering, always organizing. I'm like, you should open an organization business, declutter people's homes. But that's something I don't like doing. So I just get people come and do it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. So good. I appreciate your time. Thanks for sharing the
No, you
words
too.
and
Yeah.
pearls of wisdom. Everyone at home, like, share, and comment. Get in touch with Sandra. Well, I'll put the podcast when you launch your podcast. I'll put that in here as well.
Yeah,
For
can't
everyone
wait.
to listen to. But yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate you joining the podcast. Any final words, final comments?
I just would like to really thank you for giving me this opportunity, the way we met and the way we spoke. It's actually a really also interesting story. And I really appreciate, you reaching out to me. And I'm really happy to be here. And I watched a lot of your actually episodes too. And I was like, wow, like this guy is amazing. Like, the way you ask questions, the way you prepare everything is, you're onto something here too, and it's really, really, really interesting. And I would love to work with you actually in the future as well. And again, that's a bit about networking. It's been such a pleasure, and you made me feel so comfortable to talk to you. And I don't always feel comfortable with everybody, so you were made for this.
Wow. Oh, that's the best. Thank you so much.
Yes,
I
coming
appreciate
from the heart, like being good.
the kind words. Yeah, it's been a journey. Like in high school, I never asked any questions. I was shy, anxious,
Wow.
fully recluse, chubby kid who like would hide in the library.
Really?
I know, right? I know. So,
Wow. Must be
yes.
the time and living for you. Must be all the heat.
I had some really good people around me and
Yeah.
just some big goals and lots of reading and like I started
Yeah.
my first interviews when I was like 10 years ago on my YouTube channel. I've got like 400 something videos on there, just like long time ago. So
Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely
That's
collaborate for
amazing.
sure. But
Yeah, that's
thank you so
amazing.
much.
Public speaking is not something I'm actually normally comfortable with also. And I've just started this course for public speaking and how to be more comfortable. Like I'm fine one-on-one, but it's more the bigger, more people, and talking on stage. For example, it's definitely very, maybe that's the next step for you as well. And I think, like it's just a suggestion.
Thank you. I
But
do. I
yeah,
do.
yeah,
Um,
but there's also something that you can do to get there too.
Likewise, I think you should do that too. I think this is the beginning. I think you're going to do a bunch of other videos now as well.
Yeah.
I can feel it. So
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a
Great.
guest.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.